All right, we're live. Good evening, everybody. Today, it's going to be another repair. Before you, what you see is a Compaq LTE 5300. And I bought this online. It was about $53. And the reason I bought it was it had a lot of accessories, including a CD-ROM drive and a floppy drive, and even a genuine Compaq power cable, which are getting harder to find these days. So as such, that's why I bought this. And what we're going to look at is repairing this machine. I tried to power it on earlier. It does not power on. So we're going to see if we can figure out what's going on with that and get it all fixed up. So I hope. And if not, at least we can say that we tried. But I should have all the requisite parts that are needed to fix it. Assuming the screen is good, we have a DC to DC inverter, a processor card, and a motherboard all in one here. I keep it all together. And I think that may help us get things going. So, all right, that's what we're going to do. All right, let's see what we got. All right, so what I've got fired up first is my LTE 5400 over here on the right. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is test these peripherals because that's what I'm most curious about. So we'll start out by testing the floppy drive. And these are actually hot swappable, so we can go ahead and pull the existing drive out of the 5400, which is off camera, and put a drive in here. And we'll see if this one works. So one can only hope. So let me find a nice DOS boot disk. This should do the trick. Pop it on in there and hope for the best. Go ahead and give the 5400 the three-finger salute. Control-Alt-Delete. It's now starting up, so we'll see what we get. With a little bit of luck, who knows? Maybe it'll power on. So yeah, basically testing peripherals, and then we're going to test the machine. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Booting from floppy disk. Ooh, I don't hear it reading. Actually, maybe. Let's see. Maybe it's reading. Let's hope. Oh, come on, come on. Yes! Okay. So optimistically, it looks like this floppy drive is good. So far we're ahead because I have seen these sell for $100 online. And once again, I paid $55 for the machine. So there's something to be said for that, yeah? Cool. All right, so looks like it's going to start up. And the next thing I'm going to do is actually format a disk. So we'll give that a try and see how that works out. So yeah, that's really positive. Looks like we made it to a prompt. So let's type format a:, and I'll go ahead and pop the disk out first so we don't end up formatting, the actual disk itself. That wouldn't be good. So let's give this a format here and see what we get. So saving unformatted information, and that's a good sign. I didn't do an unconditional format, so it's going to go ahead and do that. I was lazy, but we'll see what happens. So, all right, so far so good. So with anything else, I've gotten everything I could expect out of this machine in that this very component works. So that's really, really good news. I'll take it. Cool. So we'll let that go ahead and finish here. It'll take just a minute, and then we'll test some other things. Next thing I want to test is this nice 6X CD-ROM drive, which is a treasure trove. And it used to be that the CD-ROM drives really were the treasure trove. Those are the things that were hard to find. But now it's hard to even find the floppy drives for these. So when one popped up online for this low, low price of $55, I was like, count me in, even though I've actually given a lot of these away recently. So there it is. So Mitchell, welcome. Hi, Chris. Cooking pizza and watching you. I enjoy the repair videos since repairing old hardware is something I've just started getting into. Excellent. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I think I've said it before, but in a lot of cases, I just enjoy repairing things and then I'm kind of done with them. So I pass them on at that point. I really, really, really enjoy repairing things and enjoy, as you know, doing little tutorials here and there. So that works out too. Cool. So looks like we have successful formatting here for this disk. I'm going to call this floppy drive good. That makes me very, very happy. Let's go ahead and pop the disk out. Let's pop the drive out. So first component tested, floppy drive, good to go. Let's test the CD-ROM drive. And here's that. I'll go ahead and pop that in. And the first thing I'll do is test eject on it. And you can see that it ejected, so that's a good sign. You don't always get that. So I'm going to go ahead and give this the 3-finger salute again. And let's find my GCW companion CD, which is around here somewhere. What I found is these machines don't necessarily like to read burned media pretty well, but they will read original media. So, can't seem to find it, but I do have this nice driver's education game, so I guess we can try that. Where is that CD? It's around here somewhere. You know what they say, the 5 P's of success. Prior planning prevents poor performance. I'll let you fill in the 5th P. Anyway, well, I guess I didn't do that today, but it is all right. So let's see if the drive gets detected. Oh, it said unable to detect drive. Shoot. So this actually may not be any good, but all is not lost. If this doesn't work, I may have a donor drive that I can try and swap the electronics on. Let's try to get into the BIOS and see if it finds the drive. Ah, shucks, that would be really unfortunate, but it is what it is. So let's go and do an F10 and see if it sees it. I did restart the machine, right? Oh, you know what? I should probably power it down all the way. I don't think I did that. So let's go into BIOS here and see what we see. Hard drive, multi-bay, none. Yeah, so it's not finding anything in the multi-bay. So I'm going to go ahead and power it off, and we'll see if that improves things a little bit. Okay. Because sometimes things aren't as hot swappable as they should be. All right, machine is off. I'm going to power it back on. Let's hope for the best. I think I do have an identical model to this drive that just had some problems with like the eject mechanism. So this may be a candidate for a swap, but we'll see if it doesn't get detected, but we'll certainly give it a shot. Multi-bay CD-ROM drive. Okay, so I guess that's just one of those things that's not hot swappable. So we just had to go ahead and swap it in there. So let's go ahead and pop in here into DOS and see if that drive gets detected this time. No network support is fine. And we'll see what we find. And with a little bit of luck, we'll be in business. So let's see. All right, go to a prompt here. I think it's drive R. Maybe not. Drive D. I wasn't paying attention. One more reboot. I got to see what drive letter pulls up. Oops. But I think it'll detect. I just can't remember the drive letter I made it. I guess I could have looked in AutoExec-BAT, but like I said, prior planning prevents poor performance. So Ted Branson, hey Chris, notification as usual. Thanks YouTube. Sorry. Yeah, YouTube didn't notify you and I didn't notify. I just kind of been doing these ad hoc. One of these days, when I have the ability to actually announce things, I'll start to do that. But unfortunately, I don't have that luxury right now. Drive E. Okay. I guess we could have guessed that, huh? So let's go to drive E. Cannot read the drive. No problem. Let's put one of these in there. It's nice. Driver's education CD, which is a Windows, is a 98 range. So basically this came out later, but it should be a CD, so I think it should be readable. Let's see what happens. It's a little bit finicky on the latch close, but then again, these things are ancient, so what do you expect, right? So let's see what we get here. So yeah, Ted Branson, pizza set, sounds good, Mitchell, save me a slice. Yes, we could go for some good pizza. A door appears open. So this isn't quite latching shut properly. Okay, now we've got it closed. See if it'll read now. These are such finicky devices. I don't know. I hear it kind of spinning. We'll see what happens. So what year is this machine? Says Mitchell. This is 97, something like that. 96, 97. This is not looking good. All right, so this may require some fiddling. It doesn't quite, maybe I didn't quite have it seated in there right. Well, yeah, the mechanism's a little bit wonky on this, so this drive may need some adjustment, but I think for the most part, it's got some good bones to it, so we'll see what happens. But we'll give that one more try here, and then that's boring, so we'll move on to the next thing. But yeah, door open, reading the drive. I hear it trying, yeah, okay. So that's going to need some work, but that's okay. We will put that to a side for the time being. I'll fiddle with that later. I believe I do have an identical drive that I can use to work on it. I believe so, yeah, a UDC 6740. And if we look in the drives box, which is, maybe I'll show you all my parts today. This is my LTE 5000 drives box. Yeah, talk about being, yeah. So in here we have another drive, and it is a UJDC 6740, but this one has a bad rail and won't seek. Yep, there we go. And this is also a UDG CD 6740. And just the other day, I was going to throw out this spare drive. I'm glad I didn't, because we might be able to use the parts from it to fix this, depending upon what we find. It may just need a good cleaning, so I'll toy with that in a bit, but not right now. Those are really finicky, and to be honest with you, CD-ROM repairs take me hours when I'm sitting there mucking around with it, so we won't do that today. All right, so let's turn our attention to this guy here and see if we can get him running. I'm really curious as to how much memory is in it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 5400 and put it on the floor. So we're going to go blue in the top right there. But if we're lucky, by the end of this, we won't be blue anymore. So put that on the floor, and I'm going to plug this guy in. And what we're going to immediately notice, because I've already tested it, is when I tested it once, all these lights lit up, and it just kind of does nothing. And this time, yeah, we've got absolutely nothing at all. So like nothing is lit up. It's dead as a doornail. So when this happens, it's either the processor card, the whatchamacallit, the DC to DC inverter, or the motherboard. So one of the three. What we'll do though is I'm going to take out the memory module that's in here. I'm actually really curious to see what it is. May it be the coveted 64 megabyte module, since they're not always easy to find. So that's just down here, and it's 2 screws, and we can pull it out. Actually, it's kind of loose. That may be a theme. This machine, by the way, was absolutely filthy, but I figured that cleaning it wouldn't be too interesting, so I went ahead and cleaned it. But boy, was it a filthy machine. And actually, something else I want to do is replace the letter M on the keyboard, since it's pretty worn. I think we've got a good donor keyboard, maybe 2, maybe 3. We'll find one with the appropriate color matching, and we'll put that in there. So, all right, let's see here. So Ted says, hey, Vandalay. He also says, nice to see a trusty ThinkPad on the desk. Yes, this is a ThinkPad E495, recommended to me by the Obsolete Geek. He says, you should get one of these. I have one of these, and I got one, and I like it. Oh, this is lovely. So somebody has put the memory module in here, but they were lacking the screws for the connector plate. So now it's really in there. Great, fun. That's awesome. So let's see if we can kind of wiggle it out. If not, it'll be easier once we take it all apart. Okay, well, the good news is I've got several carriers that I can use to fix that. But let's kind of, be somewhat methodical about this. Now that that's out, let's do another test, shall we? And I bet we're not going to see any difference. Clear some of this stuff off the desk. RetroTech Chris needs a bigger desk. So a RetroTech Chris live today, and hopefully Rick is back tomorrow. A great week. Oh, thank you. Yes, lots of great YouTubers out there. I'm assuming that is at Rick's Random Retro. I think I've seen the channel there. Let's see, ready? Oh, look at this. Okay, so now we can see very faintly, and again, you're going to get different behavior every time you turn these on, that the charge light and the battery light, or I'm sorry, the on light are on, but there's no battery in here to charge, so it's just highly confused. I'm going to bet it's the DC to DC inverter, so I'm going to try to replace that first, and then we'll kind of go from there. So Ted says, yes, I saw you posted on the Discord. Glad Bigfoot didn't grab him. I assume he was out doing something in the wilderness or otherwise, which this time of year is nice to do. Here in Northern Virginia, it kind of feels like a sauna right now. So, yeah, I'm staying inside for the most part, though I did go out and do some mulching yesterday or the day before. And I know I waited all this time, right? But we got that done. But boy, is it hot and humid. It's like walking into a sauna. All right, so pop that dude off. So this is the CPU cover. It was just 3 screws, as I always do when I showcase things. I cover up what I'm trying to show. You think I'd learn. Let's find something to point with. Screw, screw, and screw. Removed. Set that aside. Doesn't have any, value to it as far as what it does. So now let's go ahead and actually do this. Oh, hey, look, there's a PC card in here. Ooh. We've got a 28.8 Sportster card. And everybody knows what the problem is going to be, right? No dongle. So this card is useless unless you can find a dongle or make one. That's always the name of the game with these, right? Oh, well. One of these days, I think I'll do a video on all the different PC cards I have, just for fun. Okay, so flipping this over. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And we can take the keyboard off. So I can kind of do this in my sleep at this point. Took one of these apart the other day, 5400 that we're going to be sending off to Noel's Retro Lab at some point. And that 5400 was having some issues with the wavy screen on it, and it plagued me for the longest time. And I don't know why I didn't try this. I never tried a new motherboard or any other components. So when I finally tried it, I realized, oh, that's the problem. Okay, replace the motherboard. Thing works great now, and it's ready to send off to Noel here before too long. So there's our 4 screws there, and we're going to do a couple more. So Ted says, I love how modular these old Compaqs are. Yes, that is definitely a strong point of these, how modular they are. It's great. You can just replace a piece here, a piece there, and we've even gone a level deeper. So like the floppy drive is supposed to be a component, a single component, sold as a spare part number back in the day. You can actually take it apart and replace the drive inside of it, assuming you can find it. And if the drive is an Epson or the drive is a TIAC, you will be able to find it. If it's a Mitsubishi, sorry, you're out of luck. So, but you can certainly try. Cool. So I'm kind of doing this a stupid way, but out come 3 screws. Yep. Hey, always nice when a plan comes together, right? Put those off to the side. Hey, what's going on? Temporarily offline. Nice to see you. We're destroying Compaq LTE 5300 today. I mean, repairing a Compaq LTE 5300, because that's what I do in my live streams, fix things, well, at least try. Cool, so we got those screws off, then we get to do 2 more, one here, and then we can pull the keyboard off, and we can start to get to things. We'll pull the screen off after that. So out goes this one here, okay, and this one over here. I think one time I kind of timed myself from like full disassembly to reassembly, and I was really kind of pushing. I got it all done in about 10 minutes. I can kind of take these apart in my sleep, but when you have 10 of these, which is, 9 more than I need, you get really good at repair. So, well, at least better at repair. So we'll go ahead and take these 2 screws off the back here, which you can kind of see me doing on camera. And we should be able to pop the display out. Now, if I were really on my game, which I'm not, but if I were really on my game, I would have gone ahead and disconnected all the cabling, because it's probably not best to be putting this stress on this as we're pulling it out. But cables, we're going to pull out this little power doohickey here. I wonder if there's a way to, I really need a better setup. It's hard to see what I'm doing. But then we're going to pull out video, and we're going to pull out sound. Come on, as I shake the whole desk. And pull out sound. And then from there, screen lifts off. So now you can really see what we're doing. And the next thing we're going to do is we could probably just go ahead and pop the keyboard off. Disconnect the mic. There we go. Out it goes. Pull the keyboard out. Pull the mouse out. Keyboard's out. And then we can pull out this little guy here, the status indicator. Pull that out. 2 screws. Pull it out, done. And then from there, pull this guy off here. And then from there, give this a little nudge here, pull off the RF shield. Okay, so now we're down to the components that we care about. We've got a couple different things here. So Jonas, tried to repair my wife's Acer laptop, suffered from heat death some years ago. Never lit up again. Ah, yeah, that can happen. As you can see, I'm using all the appropriate ground straps, so we'll see how we're done here later. Geek with social skills, hello. Let's see here. Yeah, Chris got a haircut. Yeah. Sunday, I think it was. On Saturday, I woke up. I was going to do all these things. I was going to make a video. Was going to get a haircut. Was going to mow the grass. I did none of the three. Sunday, I did all those three things. So yes, I got my haircut on Sunday. Yep. Jonas said, well, it wasn't dead before I worked on it, just shut down after a minute. Ah, yeah, that can happen for sure. But you know what? You probably had fun doing it and working on it, and that's always good. Got to enjoy it. I remember destroying things back in the day and being devastated, and today it's like, if it happens, it happens. Yeah, it's what it is. So, ooh, that's loose. Yikes. So we're going to pull the processor card out. It's going to be one screw here. Where are my little grabbers? You know, RetroTech Chris chose the right profession as a software developer. I would have never made it as a surgeon because I drop everything. So anyway, all you can do is try, right? So there we go. So we can do that there. Also can't solder. One of these days, 42 years old and I can't solder. That's something I should learn, but anyway. All right, here we go. So that's out. Now we can, with those two things out, we can pop out the processor card. Let's remove the ground from the CPU board. It kind of grounds over here. And this is actually very nicely put in. So we can pull the CPU out. And as I mentioned, I honestly think it's the DC to DC inverter. So we're going to start with that. So let me pull that out. One screw. Oh my goodness, Chris. One screw should get that out. Ted says he often succeeds to fail. Me too. It's how you learn. If I could only tell you the software project I've been working on for the past couple of days that I've been trying to figure out. It's like, oh my gosh, failure after failure. So, but that's just part of the deal. So over here I have got my donor, motherboard, DC to DC inverter, and a CPU card. We're going to pull the DC to DC inverter off of it. Yeah, so I pulled this out of the boxes behind me. Come on. Oops, there we go. And as you can see, I put little stickers on things as I test them, and this has tested good. So that's good. Let's pop it in there, and let's get the fire extinguisher. So, ooh, I might have kind of pulled up on that a little bit much. Oh, yes, I did. Eek. That's no bueno. Yikes. I don't know if I've ever done that before. I should be more careful. Anyway, let's see if we can get it to seat now. Straighten out. Yep, there we go. Yikes, Chris. Come on. All right, so that should be on there. Now we don't have a chance of it working at all, right? Nah, it's seated. So let's put this processor card back in, and maybe I'll even hook up the ground. Probably not a bad idea, right? I don't think it's absolutely essential, but we'll do it. So the ground, you kind of fish down in there, then you give it a little push, and this takes a little bit of practice to get right, and I am failing miserably today. Let's get this other thing out here. Should work. It's kind of got a weird angle to it, or I'm just not very good at this. Some days, it's like some days things will just like go together perfectly, and other days they won't. All right, that's in. Processor card, let's give it a push. Now, I'm going to hook up nothing more than this indicator here, and let's see what we get. So I'm going to plug that in. We're going to plug in power to the back. Let's try to power it on. Nothing. All right, well, it's not the DC to DC card. On to the next thing. Yeah, shoot. All right, well, that's good. What that may mean is we've got a good DC to DC card. One more try, just so that we're not totally crazy. And what I'm looking for here is these two lights to light up, and we are getting nothing. Okay, well, now let's try. Whoa, oh, wait a minute. You know what? I think this could seat a little better. I didn't screw it in, so let's try again. Let's make sure that's seated a little bit better. All right, let's try again. Saw lights. I see darkness. Try again. I did see lights. All right. So I think that's a no-go. One more time. And I hear thunder. Well, I guess we got a storm rolling in. All right. Hopefully we don't lose power. We need power to do this. All right. Let's try a different processor card because, yeah. So this is a 224138. That's a Pentium 133. And here I've got a 2241-213557. I think that's a Pentium 120. So Matthew, Camp 915. Hello, Mr. Linderman and everyone. Hello. Welcome. So we'll go ahead and we'll push this in here, and we'll see what we get. Got to put that little ground in. So half of the video is going to be me putting the grounds in. Usually I have the overhead lights on and I can see a little better, but I don't have that on right now because it would like blind everybody. So, goodness. I know, it makes for riveting video right now. It's almost like that little microphone's in the way. That's what it was. Get in there, get in there, get in there. All right. Come on. I might have bent one of the pins, maybe. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. Not doing so good today. We're just going to test anyway. I will straighten that out later. Also not seated well, particularly. Maybe that's the whole problem. Maybe things just aren't seating well. Come on. Something about, is there something in the way? If that's the case, and that's the whole problem, then that would really be something. This is seated well. Let's try again. Okay, now we're seated better. Let's plug it in. Let's try this. See what we get. Nothing. It's the motherboard, most likely. All right. I'm going to try the other processor card just for grins because, once again, I'm not really convinced that things were seated all that well. So we're going to try one more time. But that's okay. If I get a good processor card and a good DC to DC inverter card out of this machine, I'll be happy. Nah. So we still got weirdness. One light lit up, so you get kind of different weirdness every time. So Geek with Social Skills says, bigger hammer, Chris. Yeah, I might need one at the rate we're going here. So actually, let's cheat. Can we cheat? Is that okay if we cheat? Anybody mind if we cheat? Let's test our other components on our known good motherboard and see what we get. So here's our known good motherboard. Here's the DC to DC inverter that came with it, with the other machine. Here's our processor card. I'm not even going to ground it. Well, probably should, but living dangerous. What can I say? I'm a man of danger, right? You know, geeks like me, very dangerous. So we'll pop this here. I'll try not to short this out. Power on. Hey, so these other components appear to be good because everything's lighting up. Let's hook an external monitor up, shall we? So it's the motherboard, guys. So it looks like the processor card and that are good. Okay, here we go. External monitor, right over here, wherever your screen is. Yeah, Brenton, living on the edge, let me tell you. All right, so this is booting up. It's got 16 megabytes of memory. Shall we boot DOS? Shall we make this like really hillbilly RetroTech, Chris? Let's do it. Let's boot DOS.
Isn't that what RetroTech even does?
That's right. So here we go. Living on the edge, guys. Let's boot DOS. If we boot DOS, clear victory. So then what I really want to see as well is I want to see how big these modules are. It's like killing me to know. But to do that, what we have to do is, well, we have to get it installed right, which is kind of important. Yeah, I should probably punt on that for a minute. All right, we're booting from a floppy disk, so that's a good thing. Actually, this will be a good opportunity for me to show you guys some of my components. This is my bag of LTE 5000 memory. Just a little bit. I know, I've got a problem. That's why I'm giving stuff away, including this machine, which will probably be given away. Because, yeah, we got too much stuff. We're selling or something. All right. So in this box was at least one carrier with a screw in it, and we can steal another screw from another carrier, and we can put this together and see how much memory we have, shall we? So, let's see here. Wow, it's really ran out. I'll just go ahead and steal the screws from this one. Yeah, we'll just make it easy. I'll just steal both of them. And we could even just use this carrier here if we wanted, but we'll see. So we'll steal a screw from there, and we'll steal a screw from here. Meanwhile, it looks like we have booted MS-DOS, and we've got ourselves a happy little machine. Yeah, it booted up. It's very exciting. So we'll take this out of this carrier, and we'll put it in here, and see what we get, and hope we don't lose power, because it's really raining. Okay. So that can go in there. Hopefully we don't get hail. Nope. All right. I'm really struggling today. Okay, because it slid in easier than I thought it would. So, oh, here we go. i8386SX. Welcome. Such good memories. Yes, absolutely. But and we've got Ted Branson. You only need the spares once you get rid of them. Yeah. Well, so my thinking was like this. I would at one point in time, I'm like, yeah, for every machine I have, I want to have a spare to go with it. It gets to a point where that's just not sustainable. So what I've decided I'm going to do is have one of each machine in the 5000 series. But even that might be a bit much. So, all right, let's install the memory into our little test kit here. I've got the power pulled out, which is always good. And I wanted to put it in the carrier because it looks like it could go in here either way, and I don't want to put it in backwards. Let's start up again. See what we get. That's a 64 megabyte module. Score! Those are so rare. This had a 6. Okay. So what do we got? We've got a working processor. We've got a working DC to DC inverter. We've got a working 64 megabyte module. We've got a working floppy drive, and I'm going to fix the CD-ROM drive. So what's that, Rebecca? High five. So this is my daughter off camera. She's giving me a high five. You can come on camera if you want. So there she is. Wave. That's RetroTech Rebecca. There you go. She's I think the only child home right now, so it's very quiet in the house. So yeah, we have got pretty much everything working, and that CD-ROM is going to be the last thing. I'll certainly run memtest on this module, but that is super exciting that we've got another 64 megabyte module. Wow, I am thrilled. Cool. Okay, so I think at this point we'll go ahead and install a working motherboard in there, though I think I'm going to pull that motherboard out and we'll do a little more testing on the bench, but I think that the motherboard is toast. So, yep. Cool. So, there we have it. I'm going to pull this out here. Kind of a nice little happy machine here, if we don't say. So we're going to, yep, actually these are all the components we need right here, aren't they? So we're going to, let me just set these off to the side because RetroTech Chris has about a 3-second memory span. So, yes. So Geek with Social Skills says hello.
Hello.
Rebecca says hello. Well, I guess it doesn't matter much that I broke the, well, not broke, but bent the pin on this motherboard for the hooking in the, whatchamacallit, the ground. The basement says hello, gang. Hello. Welcome. We're having a good time. I am excited, the basement. What I have found on this machine is it has a lot of really good bones to it that I bought for $55. So let's go ahead and get this out of here. So a couple more screws, and it'll be out. Oh, we've got a nice CMOS battery in there as well that we're going to have to take out before we go spelunking here. So we've got another screw here. We got a screw here, another one here. And then we got this kind of twisty thing over here we got to turn, and then we'll have it completely out. So there we go. Well, minus the, let's take care of that CMOS battery. And this always drives me crazy because you have to be really careful not to break these. And like I said, I could have never been a surgeon or a dentist or anything that required any degree of precision. Why did that pop like that? Case in point. So we're going to pull the CMOS battery out. And where's the trash can? All right. Or I guess I should recycle that battery, but anyway, for now, that's where it is. Pop this back in. CMOS batteries on these don't make a lot of sense unless you have a working main battery, and I only have built one working main battery, so yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Oh, I never pulled the hard drive out. That's another thing we need to test today, which we will. This is a Atom drive, 3 gigabyte. Ooh, okay. We'll see if that works. So, Geek with Social Skills says the McLaren folks will probably take a couple LT5000 machines off your hands. They finally got past that, yes, but for the longest time, they were using a 5280, and based upon what I know, I think that probably there's other machines that would have worked, but they had used 5280s to do a lot of their repairs, so, or a lot of their McLaren repairs on the F1. Speaking of which, Geek with Social Skills, well, I won't spoil it. I know he has a 5300. He's going to tell a story about it, but we'll leave it at that. All right. Okay, let's get this out. Here we go. So 1 out, 2 out, maybe. This one's always a pain. Come on. Just kind of like, what I need is a thin-walled screwdriver to get it out. Okay, no spoilers. Yeah, no spoilers. Yeah, I had to stop myself. No spoilers. No spoilers. All right. So we'll get that out there. Sorry if I already said too much. You can hit me later. All right. Hate mail can be sent to RetroTech Chris, care of RetroTech Chris. P.O. Box. Okay, out it goes. So one of my most endearing qualities is my stubbornness. At least that's what my wife says. No, she doesn't say that. But what we can do is, let's just kind of do some testing. So, oh, I'm sorry, I missed something here. The basement said, love the quick detached drive. Why would you need to swap it out? Right, out it goes. And let's see here also, I had another comment. Mitchell says, yeah, 3 gigs, yes, right. We're really cooking now. So here we have this motherboard again that we think is dead. I'm going to swap these components on it one more time now that it's out. Who knows? Maybe it was a grounding issue. These little dock switches can get you into trouble sometimes. So we'll go ahead and pull that out. And while I've got this out, I'm going to, ooh. Yeah, I see what happened to that little pin. Gosh, you ever get mad at yourself for doing things? Actually, Rebecca, flip that light on. Part of my problem is I can't see. Yes, thank you. I thought I would turn off the main lights, and I don't think that's helping me very much. Even still, it's dark in here. So either that or RetroTech Chris is just losing his eyesight. So, all right, I'll leave that repair for later. But anyway, the grounding pins are off. And there might not be anything to repair because this motherboard's probably toast anyway. So let's grab that. Let's grab the CPU. And let's grab the trusty LCD here, or LED, or whatever it is, and hook that in. I guess it's an LCD. Very carefully hook in the power. It's real easy to spark if you're not careful. I've done it. And what do we get? We get 2 lights. So, yeah, I think this has reached the end of its road. Somebody smarter than me may be able to fix it. But I think, yeah, it's not going to happen. Okay, so what do we know? We know that that motherboard is going the way of the bye-bye. So here's what I do before I forget. Get a little label, write on it what we know about it. So it's bad. I think this is a bad pen too. No, maybe not. Yeah, no power. And we'll put that on there. Pulled off both labels. Brilliant. So we'll put that on there, and now we can take that, and I'll put that in the bin of parts, and we'll decide what we end up doing with it. Yeah, Owen says, don't let the magic smoke out. Yeah, we got to be careful. Definitely don't want to do that. So, all right, let's get down to business. Let's put this board in. So let me grab the machine. Here it is. Let's put this in. I think I'd written no sound on this motherboard, but I think it's just that these little variable resistor, whatchamacallits, that are used to control the sound tend to, come on, focus camera, tend to get bad over time. So I think that it works. It's just really faint. So we'll go ahead and pop that in there. Come on, come on, come on. Doesn't always like to go in nice. Oh, yeah. It's got to like slide over just a touch. So let's try again. Ah! Yeah. You're being stubborn, aren't you? There we go. So we got to slide over just a touch as we go to put it in. And if we can do that, we'll be successful. If not, we'll just pretend to be chiropractor here. And I think that's what we're going to have to do. It's kind of like almost like a push into the left, and then it'll sit into place. Still not quite right. It's still off a little bit. That's the second time that's happened to me. The first time was the other day. I got to figure out what I did to kind of get it 100% lined up. But yeah, you can even see on the back it's not quite. There we go. Yeah, that's what I did. I kind of pushed it to the left a little bit. And now it's in place. So we're good to go. Cool. So the basement says, my basement is full of things waiting for someone smarter than me. Well, if I knew how to solder, I think that would help me a lot, because then I could, you know, oh, this is loose. We should fix that. I could repair some things, but I probably told this story before, but I started out as an electrical engineering major or a computer engineering major, and I quickly switched. Well, I kept that major, but I really did an emphasis on software, and I think that served me a lot better. I think that I would make a terrible EE and probably an even worse technician. So, but you know, it's on what we learn in our strengths. Circuits just kind of mystified me. I'm thinking maybe if I would have learned a little bit more about physics, then maybe I could have done better, but this didn't happen. So practice soldering on junk boards, removing things, and soldering them back on. That's a good idea. I tried that on some of my K7 motherboards, and yeah, I guess I need to try harder. I think part of it is getting the heat right. Part of it's knowing how to use flux properly. None of which I know how to do very well. But yeah, you know, maybe I can. I would really love to have that skill. You know, all these folks, I see them build things. You know, and I've even been reached out to by certain PC board manufacturers who would like to sponsor the channel, and I say that'd be disingenuous for me to do it because I don't have those skills. So plus we're not really doing that anyway at this point. So anyway, it is what it is. So Ted says, oh, modems are good victims for solder practice. Yes, I could see that. They don't have a whole lot of utility these days, do they? So if we can take an old modem and do something with it, that would certainly be that. So let's see, what we're going to do is get this back together, and then I think what we need to do is test that 3 gigabyte Atom hard drive and see what that looks like. So how exciting. If I can just get that CD-ROM to work, then it's going to be such victory on this machine, and you know, nothing but a dead motherboard is just our only problem. So anyway. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 back in. We need to put this guy back in, and we did 4, 5 on the back. So here he is, this nice little long standoff. And you always have to be careful with the amount of leverage that you put on these as you're putting them in. So I know at least that much. So we'll just be a little careful here and not twist to the side. There we go. That seems good. So just doing the counting here to make sure I got everything in. Looks like we're good. Next up, going to put the original DC to DC inverter back in here since it works. So we'll pop that in there. And that, again, is just 1 screw. So we will put that in there accordingly. Now I'm cheating and using the tool. So put that guy in there. And next up, we need to put the processor card in, and we'll go with that nice 133 megahertz Pentium. Yep. So that can go in. Seems to be seating in rather nicely. Here we go again. But I have light this time because my daughter turned the light on. Let's see how much better I can do in the light. Hey, look at that. It's amazing when you can see. Anyway, you just get a little more glare on my nice bald forehead here. But thanks for tolerating that. It allows me to see. Works out pretty good, at least for me. All right, so we've got that in. That's good. Now let's go ahead and put these final couple of screws in to the processor card. And let's do another test before we get too far along. Pentium power, yes. So the majority of the systems in my fleet are Pentiums. That's not just because I'm a very boring person. It's just that I like Pentiums, and I do have a couple of 486s as well. And I've got, of course, my Tandy 1000, which you guys do see a lot of because I always like doing as much as possible as I can on a minimal machine. So that's kind of the concept. So, yeah. Oh, no, I'm doing this totally wrong. What am I doing? That's wrong. This goes in. All right. That's what happens when I get jabbing and not thinking. All right. So that can go in there. Let's kind of snap him under. Okay, good there. These things can break easy if you're not careful too. There's a lot of leverage here in this in these little deals. Okay, so that's in. Let's do a test. So, can you hear the thunder? So where is this? So Geek with Social Skills says Tandy 1000s are fun machines. Yes, nice Turbo XT class machines. That's good. So the light went orange, the light went green, and we've got all sorts of lights here. And if we put a floppy drive in, we would have floppy seek. So we're batting 1,000 so far. Cool. So next up, we got that in, we got that in. We need to put the RF shield back in next. Make sure we have our little microphone up above. Let's give that a little pull, and that puppy will go in there. Good. And now we can go ahead and put this guy back on. I mean, why not, right? Might as well. Mine as well. Go for green. Green for go. Yes, green for go. You're right. Exactly. I guess the power LEDs, well, I guess they're still green in some cases. My ThinkPad has a red one. I always think of green as being the indicator that you've got power. Absolutely. All right, so we got one screw in there. We're going to do one more, and then we can put the keyboard back on, and then we can put the components back in, and we can test out that Atom 3 GB drive. So here we go. There we are. Okay, looks like that's, oh, forgot to put the fan in. Shucks. Like I said, not on my A game today, guys. It's easier to put the fan in before you put the processor card in. But if you forget, it is recoverable. There we go. All right. I mean, I meant to do it that way. Yeah. Okay. So once again, one more test. Now that we've got more things installed. Couldn't have possibly been the fan that shut off the motherboard. Zombie, how's it going, my friend? Zombie is the source of a lot of the really cool video ideas that we do on the channel when it comes to doing different like productivity suite items in DOS, like the calendaring we've done in DOS. Has my XFS NFS video gone live yet? I don't think it, I can't remember. I don't think it has. So that will be one that's coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, Zombie is the idea generator for a lot of those things. I've got a spreadsheet. It's called Zombie. It's got all the zombie ideas in it, and we make them. So absolutely. Cool. So with that, we're good. I think we're ready for this little guy. And somewhere around here, there's a keyboard. And one thing I do want to do with this keyboard is replace the M key. Not critical, but you can see, where is it? Oh, here. It's a little worn out, so it wouldn't be bad. We might look through our donor box and see if we can find a nice keyboard that matches, and that'll give me a chance to show you my LTE 5000 parts box. Not embarrassing at all. So anyway, okay, let's see. How am I holding up? Good. Working a lot as always. Not paying attention to what I'm doing again. It helps if we actually hook in the keyboard. Working a lot as always. Today I made it kind of a short day because this came in the mail and I wanted to play with it. All right. It's good to have that flexibility. So, yes, the LTE 53 keyboard is very clean. You should have seen it about 2 hours ago. I might see if I can find the eBay listing for this. This machine was filthy. So I didn't take all the keys off, but I did do a scrub in between every single key. Keyboard has a really nice feel to it. Sometimes they get a little bit, the rubber kind of dries out, but this has got a pretty nice, pretty nice feel to it. So that's always good. All right, snapping in. This time I think we've got things connected. Sorry, not firing on all 6 cylinders today, but we are getting things together. Okay, so next we're ready for the screen. And then we can hook in these, and then we'll really do a test. Oh, that's something else we haven't tested, the screen. And it actually, casing looks pretty good on this. There was a spot where there was like a little nick. I just took a razor blade over it and kind of like spread it out, but this is looking really good. There's no cracks down by the hinges, which is pretty common on these, so I'll try to keep it that way and not screw it up. But I wonder what the screen looks like. If the screen works, this is going to be a real key thing. So Zombie says he's become obsessed with solar power generation and he'll find a way to get information from my smart meter into DOS. Well, you could use the RetroTech Chris push notification system. That would work, or that could be adopted somehow, or you might find a better way. All right.
Dad, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How many retro toys do you have?
So we have a question from the live audience, and the question is, how many retro toys do I have? I don't want to talk about it. I'd plead the fifth. But we are sending toys the other way. We're trying to declutter a little. Well, not declutter. Trying to spread things out, not hoard. And then I go off and buy this, but it's okay. All right. Let's put some screws in here before we turn it around, shall we? I'm just going to put 2 screws in here, and we're going to power this up, and we're going to see if the screen is any good. And if that's the case, and the only thing wrong with this whole machine was, well, so far the CD-ROM drive and the what else? Oh, the motherboard, right? Details. Come on, get in there. Then we'll be in pretty good shape. This hinge is being a pain, as it usually is. It's not quite seating in there. There we go. So anyway, seem to be having more trouble with these of late. So it's probably me, not the hinge. But let's see if we get that in there. Come on, drive in there. There we go. Cool. All right, so let's power it on and see what the screen looks like, shall we? Here's sound. And you're seeing this for the first time. Oh, wow. It looks great. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm thrilled. That's exciting. That is exciting. Let's test out the 3 gigabyte drive. So let me get hooked in here. Oh, that's great. Yeah, so this, I often buy these to be parts machines. And then everything works. So it's like, I can't make it a parts machine now. I got to keep it as a machine and give it to somebody. Best $55 spent ever. Yeah, this really, it's pretty incredible. Oh, I forgot to put the drive in. So here we go. We'll see how this goes. Putting the drive in. So let's see here. Zombie says, okay, the basement says beige laptop looks very good. Bring back beige. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I hear a spin up. So let's go into BIOS and see what we get. I mean, spinning up. That's good, I guess. Here we go. 3 gigabyte drive detected. All right, well, we'll be careful here if this has somebody's personal data on it. Huh? Windows 98. Windows 98 is going to be a little anemic with 16 megs of memory, don't you say? What did you do, Chris? You pulled the plug on a booting machine? Yeah. Sorry. I don't think I left the memory in there, did I? No, that was just a test. So I think that was the other motherboard. Well, this is now this motherboard, but all right. Now we're really cooking because now we've got 80 megabytes of memory. So let's power on with that and boot into Windows 98. And that'll be fun. Wow. This is so exciting, guys. Now I just got to fix that CD-ROM. And yeah, wow. Now this is, listen, if you can find one of these machines with a 64 megabyte module, a working hard disk, which, okay, if not, as long as you can find the caddy, that's fine. But a 64 megabyte module, a floppy drive, and a CD-ROM, you're set. Because CD-ROMs are hard to find, and now the floppy drives are even getting hard to find. So yeah, this is like all together. And I have a feeling if I take that CD-ROM apart and fiddle with it a little bit, it'll do that. Maybe we'll do that for those who want to stick around for that as well. So yeah, the basement, loving the modularity. Yes, these machines were just so super modular. It was pretty exciting how they designed them to that way, and I think they did a really good job with it. Using the USB VGA to USB LR video capture. Maybe some of you have seen that video. Not as many people have seen it as I thought. It wasn't very popular for some reason. It's okay. I don't make videos for popularity. I make the videos I want to make. But as far as like, it's 10 out of 10 as far as my views on recent videos. Okay, I see lots of documents on here. We're not going to go opening them. Sorry. But we can at least go and look. Oh, this screen is brilliant. Oh my gosh. It's so nice. Oh, look at this. Somebody had a zip drive attached. We can go and see what sort of items on here. Free ICQ. Oh, look at that. 623604. I wonder if it still works. That was my ID. America Online. We've got our Office Suite here, Windows Explorer, our Omega Tools, Winamp. Got to have Winamp. And we've got Adobe. So Photoshop. Ooh, nice. So this is kind of set up. I mean, there's a reason this has got a nice 3 gigabyte drive in there. So ICQ, yes, and Zombie may still be here. One of the things that Zombie and I have been working on has been different communication methods in DOS, and I can't remember if ICQ is on the list or not, but that would be a fun one to do. Geek with Social Skills says, maybe the CD-ROM lens needs to be clean. Yeah, that could be. It just didn't seem to want to latch was kind of the weird part, but we'll toy with it now. We've got a nice 98 machine we can toy with it in, and because now I'm like, you know, the engineer in me is so curious because I want to get it working. That's what I do. Let's see here. Any game port for MIDI? No, not on these Compaqs. That is the one thing that they do there is they don't have MIDI ports because it's a business grade machine. So anyway, let's see here. Games. Where's the games? Okay, yeah, let's go look for that. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm kind of skipping around here a little bit. So yeah, let's go. We'll go see what sort of games are on here. I'm assuming that it's just your standard Windows games. Yeah, I don't see much of other stuff. We will very carefully explore the hard disk here. Living Dangerous. I don't know what Crew is. Oh, this had Photo Styler on at one point. Looks like that's some some documents and things. Photo Styler is a good, fun little program as well. Get GIFs. We're not going to go looking at all that. Sorry. It looks like this person might have had a LaserJet printer, maybe. AIM, Duotones, but yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of other games. But yeah, and a lot of rescued documents. So this characteristic is a nice fat 32 system. How is the sound card? Fantastic. This has the ESS 1868. Oh my, I probably just butchered that. But it's a nice sound chip. Let's go see. This motherboard I had marked as having sound problems, so we'll see what that's all about. Yeah, 1688. But let's see if we've got some sounds. Wouldn't it be nice if we can find like a Canyon MIDI or something? I don't know if Windows 98 had that though. Let's go see what we can find. Let's see here. Yep. So Geek with Social Skills says used ICQ back in the day. Yep, me too. Let's see. Be sure to image that drive before you wipe it out. Okay, yeah, I guess so. If there's somebody's documents on here, that's the only thing that we might be a little more careful. Ted Branson still uses Winamp. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a great program. i8386SX, it may not boot with 16 megs. I think you're right. Windows 98, it would really struggle with 16 megabytes, so it's probably good that we did that. Jonas says, must have SWXG1000. I'm not familiar with that, to be honest with you, so I'm not really sure what that is, if it's a sound card or otherwise. Zombie, talking about ICQ, handled via different external modules. The service is now a different protocol by a Russian company. Okay, that doesn't surprise me. Those things tend to change hands quite a bit. And Zombie says, legacy ICQ is supposed to be supported by Phoenix AIM. Okay, that's cool too. So we'll have a look at that at some point. That's in the list of things to look at some point. And then i8386SX, be glad there isn't porn stash on this one. Yeah, not really. Anyway, yeah, not my thing. If it's, yeah, just not my thing. All right, so see if we can find a nice WAV file. It may help if we can turn on extensions because I don't know about you guys. That's the first thing I do when I get a machine. Oh, okay. So Jonas is saying it's a software synth, the Yamaha XG. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that has that. But that would be a fun thing to have for sure. Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to find sounds and I'm just like failing miserably. Maybe what we'll do is go see if we can find the startup sounds. Yeah, to be perfectly honest with you, I can't necessarily remember where we have sounds in Windows 98. I thought they were in the Windows directory, but no, I'm not finding them. So shame on me. I should know that. All right, well let's go into system settings, control panel, see if we can find some sounds. As I fumble and mumble here. Okay, where are sounds? Let's go here. So we should have some default sounds in here, right? Like the asterisk. Oh, that didn't play, did it? Let's try adjusting the volume wheel. Maybe this motherboard does have sound problems. Yeah, because everything's kind of, oh, mute. Well, it's selected. No, not muted. Yeah, I did have this motherboard marked as having no sound, and maybe that is the case. So, but in any event, that's okay. That may be something we swap in at some other point. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be doing much there. I do have, I mean, when we started up on boot, I certainly heard it making sound, so that might just be something I have to toy with here. But yeah, not getting much of anything. I wonder if we plugged like external and maybe it's just like an issue with like something shorting out or something, which, oops, I step on the motherboard. Brilliant. This may be a bridge too far, but let me see if I can find, there we go. That's microphone. That should be, I've actually very rarely plug in sound. Let's see what we get. Nothing. Yeah, so that might be something I have to toy with a bit to make sure I plugged into the right port. Yeah, I think so. I don't think this is where we want to be. Shoot. Yeah, so this motherboard may have problems, but it could be drivers, but I don't think so. So that's all right. Since I pulled the power out, let's pose the sound. All right, well, this would be a good opportunity to test the CD-ROM a little bit more. See if we can get something going there. I probably should finish putting the machine back together, but then again, if the motherboard doesn't have sound, but you'll hear it on boot. We do get a beep, so I'm pretty sure anyway. So there's just something at bay there that we're gonna have to figure out. So, oh, media folder. Thank you, Ted. I'll have to go looking for that. The basement says, what's the solid state options for this? Usually do 4 gigabytes. I didn't hear it beep. Usually do a 4 gigabyte. I've been a big fan of Cisco cards. There's a guy on eBay who has a whole bunch of them. 4 gigabyte Cisco cards. You might be able to do larger cards than that, but I've kind of had mixed luck with it, so I haven't tried more than once because I had problems going to the bigger cards. So let's see here. So Jonas says was wrong all the way. SYG 100 YG 100 more like it for 90X. Gotcha. And A8386SX says, my first YouTube video did not go well because of that. Check those drives before doing video. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were pretty careful. Luckily, we didn't have anything on the desktop. And as we kind of dug in a little bit, we didn't hit anything. So that's good because that's definitely not something that we want to uncover today. No pun intended. So cool. Very good. Yeah, I might swap another motherboard in here if this one truly does have sound problems. We'll see. I'll investigate. Okay, so I've got the CD-ROM back in. Let's put that driver's education CD from earlier back in, and it does say it's the 98 edition, and we do have Windows 98, so we'll see if we can get it to read. Machine sure is thrashing a lot for having 80 megabytes of memory, but I usually go with either DOS 622 and Windows 3.1 or Windows 95 on these. I usually don't do 98. Not saying that you can't, but it tends to be a little more sluggish. I did try 2000 once, and I would not recommend that on these. It's way too slow. Yeah. See if we can just kind of push in a little bit here. It's trying to seek. Let's give it a minute. Yeah, it's saying not ready, but it may just need to spin up. Yeah, seems like it's trying to eject for some reason, so it might just be something with the mechanism there. But we'll give it just a minute and see if we can get it to pop up there. Come on. Yeah, it's okay. So I'm gonna go with Geek with Social Skills suggestions, and we're gonna clean the lens. So let me go get some alcohol and a Q-tip, and I'll be back in about 30 seconds. Don't go away. And we're back. I think that was about 30 seconds. Anyway, so I've got a nice bottle of alcohol here. And let's clean the lens. I wouldn't don't drink rubbing alcohol. All right, just a little bit, should be plenty. That's more than a little bit. I'll blind myself. We'll just give that a little scrub there. Dry it out. That should be more than enough, right? Yeah, very scientific of me. So yeah, let's see what we get. I mean, yeah, it does latch closed, so. Come on. Here it's seeking. Then the light goes out. Yeah. I think this drive, because it doesn't seem to want to spin up either, I'm noticing. One more time. Yeah. It's having just some sort of a detection problem, unfortunately. So, anyway. Well, shoot. Again, it's okay. Actually, it's spinning. It's just one more time. Maybe we'll give it a little assist here. Actually, if you give it an assist, it thinks it's ejecting, so you have to leave it alone. Yep. One more time. I see a flashing light on busy, but I don't think it's going to spin up. Well, what I'll do is try swapping out maybe the laser and this other one. Yeah, the laser may need to be adjusted. Yeah, that's possible. Am I sure that the CD itself is okay? No. Hey, you know, that's a good idea. Like maybe I should use the CD that I've always used in the past, even though I was having trouble finding it. Let me see if I can find it over here somewhere without knocking down too much stuff. Careful, Chris. Is this it here on top? It might be. Come on. There we go. Yes. I have found the illustrious GCW companion. And you're all here still, so it looks like I didn't unplug anything despite my best efforts. Yeah, that laser may need some adjustment. Let's see. Let's try this other CD. Oh, wouldn't that be something? I don't know if I've ever tried to read that CD. Maybe it's a DVD. All right, now we've got no light whatsoever. Oh, latch. Yeah, this drive definitely has a finicky latch. And these drives definitely are notorious for not necessarily reading properly. So anyway, shoot. Okay, well, we will toy with that maybe a little bit. And sometimes just kind of taking them apart and fiddling with them is all that you need. Tightening things up again, and you're back in business. But yeah, he doesn't seem to want to spin up. I guess it probably does its initial like little check and to see if it can find the inner track, and then from there it'll proceed on. But yeah, it doesn't seem to want to behave today. We'll take a few minutes and take it apart. Why not? So I'm not as good with these, and if I fumble too much, that'll be it. But anyway, let's try it. So come on. Yeah, the drive does feel a little bit off to me from what I'm sensing here. Sometimes they Yeah, it's latching. Maybe a switch that needs some deoxit, yes. And Geek with Social Skills says this machine was still a win. Oh, yeah, I mean, 100%. This, oh, looks like we lost our keyboard here. Probably pulling that drive out made it angry. I've noticed that sometimes pulling the CD-ROM drives out while you're in Windows does make things a little angry. So let's power down. But yeah, it's still a win for sure. And I have a sneaking suspicion I'll be able to get it working. We'll do a quick teardown here, and then we'll probably call it. But yeah, I think I'll probably be able to get it going. Let's make sure that this just boots up again here. Yeah, we should be hearing a beep on startup, which we're not. So that's indicative of sound problems. So yeah, maybe this is a no sound motherboard. All right, we'll let that boot up there. So to take these apart, it's, let's see, 4 screws in the back, and then I think there's 2 more screws here. I think one's like hidden, and then from there you can get it apart. Oh, maybe it's just 2 screws in the back, yeah, and then one here. So, yeah, take it apart real quick and have a look. But there might not be seemingly very much we can do. I think we need a smaller bit here, so we'll grab that. But yes, this machine, definitely a win. Very, very, very pleased. Lots of good bones. The keyboard's really nice. Oh, we should fix that, actually, before we get into the CD-ROM. Let me find a nice keyboard that we can steal a key from and make it complete. As I think I've got some donor keyboards. Maybe just a few. And I thought I had like a really, yeah. So I had keyboards where like the bezels broke. So the keyboard, no bezel, warped backplate, 3 missing keys, no mouse. So this keyboard would be perfect. And the coloring is pretty close, where we can just go ahead and pop off this very worn out M key and take this one and pop it on. And the coloring's about the same. And now we have a nice functional M key complete with lettering. So there we go. That was something else I wanted to fix. I know. Now, if we wanted the nice cheeseburger effect, we could have gone with this keyboard. The true yellowness of this is not showing up on camera, but this is like, you know, block of cheddar cheese yellow. Wish it really showed up on camera, but it's brilliantly yellow. Okay, so do we have our keyboard back? We've got our keyboard back. Do we have our mouse back? We have our mouse back. Yeah, once again, these machines don't always like you pulling CD-ROM drives out like I did. So, all right. Let me, actually, I was going to say I was going to finish putting this back together, but I'm probably going to swap another motherboard in it. So let's set this off to the side. So I think I only have one other parts motherboard. So I'm running out. So maybe, yeah, we'll ultimately decide what the fate of this machine is. It may stick around for parts. Actually, no, I have a 5280 that has a motherboard in it too. I forgot about that. So okay, we can fix it. I have to ration my parts, guys. I only have 10 of these machines. What's wrong with me? Don't answer that. Nobody answer that in the chat. Well, unless you know, then that would be helpful. Okay, so pulling this apart, yes. Okay, there are 2 more screws. So we'll go ahead and pull those out. And then this little back comes off. And really, what they've done is compactized this little drive, and basically what was a Panasonic, I think it's a Panasonic. They basically added little compact bits to it, and that's how you make it work. Cool. So with that out, we can take off this little doohickey here on the side, which once again just adds that much more width so that it fits nicely in a compact multi-bay, but that also undoes one of the screws for taking the drive apart. And then from there, we can take another one off. So Geek with Social Skills says, hi, my name is RetroTech Chris, and I have a problem. I like to collect LTE 5000 series. Yeah, very much. Yes, I do. Okay, so with that, we're apart. Cool. And let's see here. I did not, darn it. There's a safety little paper clip here will do the job. I didn't leave this popped out, so we'll free the mechanism. So there's the inside of the drive. Not too exciting, but it does the trick, I guess. Here, let me bring it up here a little bit. So that's that. So now we've got a decision point. If we suspect the laser, the other drive, I think, also had a seek problem. Where did that go? Oh my. Did I lose it? Shoot. Oh, here it is. Lost in plain sight. Bad rail won't seek. So it had a similar problem, but it did have a bad rail. So maybe we at least can try to swap out that portion and see if it makes a difference, right? I mean, we've got nothing to lose at this point. So anyway. Ecosocial Skills says, at least you seem to focus on one machine, so that's not a bad thing. Yeah, I really do. Though I have other machines too. I've got the Tandy. I've got the Tandy. Some other systems as well. But yeah, I do tend to focus on one. All right, I can never remember how to get these apart. I think we can just kind of pry this up just a touch, and that should let it loose. And then from there, okay, it looks like we get to undo a little bit more, and I'm trying to remember how modular these are. Like I said, every time I fiddle with these, it gets interesting as far as like, oh, goodness. If I want to get that out, I got to go all the way in there. Hang on. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to take this off just because, yeah. So Ecosocial Skills says, okay, you focus on the LTE 5000 series and Tandy 1000, both two really wonderful machines. I agree. Love my Tandy 1000, love that. The LTEs have a nice Packard Bell machine, actually have a couple gateway machines, and have several custom machines. Have a PS2 Model 30, and lots of computers from Computer Reset. That's quite a place. This doesn't want to come out. This is being difficult. This is being really difficult. Let's see if we can get out from this side. I know you can't see what I'm doing right now. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember. Maybe I haven't taken a faceplate off one of these Panasonic drives. I've taken them off the TIAC drives, maybe not the Panasonics, because I'm struggling. But we'll see here if we can get that off. All right, so there's one screw. And once again, this won't reach in here. Maybe we can just cheat. Yeah, let's just cheat. Let's just cheat. Or not. Just a little bit too stubby to go all the way in there. Oops. Let's try. This is my famous variable flathead screwdriver, which isn't working either. I loaned this to somebody once upon a time. They broke the tip off of it. And it's actually been made for a great, like, flathead screwdriver to fit in places. All right, I'm going to abandon that because that's not going well. What we're going to do is just see. Well, I don't know. They always say, have the right tools to do the right job. And I clearly don't, because what I really need is a really long screwdriver with a smaller blade. As I knock that over again, I'm going to wreck it. And less and less and less and less and less. Yeah, I don't see a way to detach that without like going further in. So this may be the end for the time being until I can find the right tools. Yeah, I don't want to strip that out. So nominally, what we're going to do is put the rail back on, and we're going to pretend this never happened. Easier said than done because now we have witnesses, but that's okay. It is what it is. So yeah, we'll get it. We will get it. So we're just going to snap that back in, and we're back in place. And then from there, we can put the rest of it together. So I can't remember if I took a screw out there or not. I think I did. And of course, I put it back in. So anyway, that'll be some fun for some other time. Like I said, these CD-ROMs are really a pain to work on, so we're not going to do that. So let's see here. So Jonas says, could be worse, Chris. Could collect a Catcher in the Rye. Remember that movie Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson? Read the book back in the day. I don't remember a lot about it. I didn't watch the movie as of yet anyway. Let's see here. And Geek with Social Skills says, now that you've banged the drive a few times, it might work. Well, let's try. I'm telling you, there's things I'm good at. Some things I'm just sloppy at, and yeah. Let's put it back together. Let's put it back together, and let's hope for the best. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It does happen. All right, so to put it back together, either I have to watch the video back or I actually get this right. We do things in the reverse order. I see 2 screws here. Okay, they went somewhere. And then we had, oh boy. Yeah. Oh, and then we had the 4 that go on the back. And okay, so now I'm trying to remember where those 2 screws go. Did I take something else off? I don't think so. So those must be the ones that go on the sides, and I think they are. So, okay. Yeah. So we can put that back on. Yeah, it'd be a shame if we can't get this working. The 6X was the fastest offered for the series. There was a 4X, and there was also a 2X, but this is a 6X, as we see. All right, so looks like that's going to fit in there rather nice. Maybe, maybe not. Find the right driver. Put that in. Yep, okay, good. That's where that goes. Good. So far, we're 100%. All right, so now we need to find the other fat screw, which I just had and moved around conveniently so I could misplace. All right, that goes there. And next, let's go ahead and put on this little side thing here so it can, oh, nuts. Drop the screw. So it'll go into the multi-bay nice and nice. So we can put that there. And yeah, so that's good. Whoops. Not watching what I'm doing. All right. Okay. Wouldn't that be something if we just put it in and it worked? That would be great. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. All right, so we got that in. Cool. So now let's put it back, the rest of it back together. I can close the door. We'll put this on the back, which necessitates making this get in here, like so. Why am I struggling with this? There we go. Yeah, that's it. And I actually left the screws in here because why not? So we can just tighten those puppies down, and we're going to put it back together. I am not going to do anything more with this today unless, you know, I'd change my mind. All right, so now those 2 go on last. Let's go ahead and put these 2 in. These could also go in last, it doesn't matter. In some cases, order is important. Some cases, it is not. All right. Geek with Social Skills says, early on, I did recommend a bigger hammer. Yeah, that may be precisely what we need, especially when it comes to these finicky CD-ROM drives. Though I have to say, there's a fair number of moving parts. Even a floppy disk, it's got a fair number of moving parts. I think one of the best things we might have done for computing is get rid of anything that spins. You know, solid state, it seems to work nicely. Of course, the trade-off there being your write cycles, but yeah, yep. But I still like floppy drives. Not a big GoTech person. Let's see how many times I can drop this. But I guess GoTech is a nice solution too if you don't want to deal with spinning and failures and the like. Because yeah, my floppy disks do go bad on occasion. Makes for fun. Okay, this is now magically, miraculously back together. Let's grab the machine. Here it is. Oh, what's left of it. Put it back up on the desk here. Let's pop the drive back in. And let's get a fire extinguisher. So let's plug power in. Let's plug video in so that you too can watch along. Oh, there's one other component I need to test in this machine at some point, and that is the fan. So to test that, I'll get it good and hot using something like memtest, and then from there we'll be able to test it. Well, if I do say, one thing that has improved is this seems to be staying in a little bit better. Maybe not. I spoke too soon. So we'll go ahead and boot the wonderful Windows 98 here and see what we get. Yeah, we'll see what happens. And I think the next thing I'm going to do is check my LTE 5000 parts inventory to see where I've got a good motherboard. Oh, so this is a motherboard here. This is for an LTE 5100, 5000, 5100, and 5200. I can tell by the audio cord on the back or the part number. So that one won't do the trick. But as I look through the box of parts here on the ground, another processor. Another motherboard. This one has bad video. This was the one that was causing the one problems that I'm going to be sending to Noel's Retro Lab. We got another processor in here. And let's see. I think I showed everybody the drive box earlier, so we won't show that again. But somewhere around here is the actual box of processor. Oh, here it is. So I might have another motherboard in there. If not, I'm going to have to pull one out of one of my part systems, because with my part systems, I actually keep the components right in there as well. Let me pop this over here. So let's see if the CD-ROM, let's see if percussive maintenance, as they call it, did the trick, as much as I did bang this around on the desk. So we'll pop that open. Device is not ready. Yeah. Come on, pop out. Well, hopefully I didn't make it worse. Let's see if it'll spin up. Yeah, these are kind of like all or nothing, so I think we got nothing. So yeah, shoot. But I don't know, maybe some more toying with it and we'll get it going. But I think for the time being, it's going to be what it's going to be. So there you have it. Well, cool. I've been going for a little while here. I guess about an hour and a half. This has been fun. Thanks for joining the journey along here. I think that we'll call this pretty good for now. I will see if I can find another motherboard. I have to go look through my spreadsheet and find out where it is. It's around here somewhere. I do think it's in the parts 5280. And if I've got a good board, I'll probably swap it in. To be perfectly honest with you, if I don't have another good motherboard spare, this is probably going to be relegated to a parts machine. But we'll see what happens. I always like to at least keep one good spare around. So we'll see. Ted says it must have a sensor that checks if the door is closed. Yeah, it does. And I think it's closed okay because I can get it to eject, and I don't think you can get it to eject if the door is open. That's correct, based upon what I'm seeing here. But yeah, it's just for whatever reason it just doesn't want to spin up. When we were in MS-DOS earlier, we were seeing that it did go from the door is open to, just not ready. So unfortunately, yeah. But be not dismayed. I have 10 other CD-ROM drives around that do work. So with all the other components we got today, I'm going to call this a success. And if I do get do more fiddling with this and get it working, I'll certainly post down in the comments. But yeah, I think it's going to be what it's going to be. So, but in all cases, thanks for joining. It's been great to have everybody here. Thanks for joining and watching. I'm going to probably clean up. Well, okay, let's take you on a tour here. I'm going to clean up my mess of parts that are literally everywhere, and then probably go and find some dinner since it's about that time of day. But thanks for joining. It's been great seeing everybody. As always, it's a lot of fun. Thanks for supporting the channel. Love to see you. And yeah, we'll certainly catch you next time. Probably next time I have another LTE 5000 series to repair, because unknowingly I'm sure I'll buy another. We'll go ahead and repair that as well. So, but yeah, everybody. Thank you, Ted. Appreciate the feedback. Jonas, good night. Geek with Social Skills, good night. Vandalay Industries, good night. Thanks for sticking around, guys. It's great chatting with you as always. And you all have an absolutely spectacular evening wherever you are. We're getting closer to the weekend, so hobby time or enjoying nice weather time is right around the corner, or maybe a mix of both. So, all right, have a great night. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.